Have you ever said to yourself, I'm stuck? Well, today we're talking about how change begins by making that one small decision to change on this episode of Coffee with Tea. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, Tonia Tyler, and today we are going to be talking about it's never too late to turn around. You are not stuck on the one path only. And today we're going to have Mr. Gary Powell, who is a certified health and wellness coach, who is going to give us some insight onto how to turn that big bus around and go back the other direction if it's not going your way. So, Mr. Gary Powell, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, Tonia. It's a privilege and an honor to get to talk to you and to your audience today.
Well, thank you. Thank you. First of all, I always want to know, how are you handling everything with this COVID-19, you and your family staying safe?
We're handling it in stride. Very few things rattle me, so we just take necessary precautions when we need to, and we're just kind of living our best life right now. So can't let the fear of what might happen kind of dull the life that you have. So again, we're doing very well right now. Actually, we even sold our house and moved to a new city in the midst of it all. So. It's never too late. You can always start something new, right?
Oh yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. It's all about transformation, and congratulations on your new home.
Thank you so much.
And taking time out your busy schedule, because I know unpacking and moving's got to be, being in the military. I know how that is.
Yeah, and this is the one of two moves, because we're actually building the home, so we had to, because our house sold so fast, because the housing market is crazy right now. We had to move out of our home into a townhouse for the next couple of months while our home is being built. So we get to do this all over again. It's an exciting time.
Well, congratulations. We're going to talk about transformation. And I know, first of all, for anybody who has not known or heard of your story, would you love to start sharing your story, how transformation really played a big part in your life and how we got to where we are today?
Absolutely. So my story actually started off with a physical transformation. So back in 2013, I was 70 pounds heavier than I am now. I was taking medication for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and gout. I slept the CPAP machine. Really awesome. My wife is a lucky woman. So I had a lot of health issues going along that stemmed from my obesity. And there was a vacation where we were at a beach. I love the ocean, and as you can tell, I'm not a shy person. I like to live, I like to do, I like to talk. But I noticed on this particular vacation, I wasn't living. I didn't get in the water. I stayed in the house, and basically my job was to figure out where we were going to go to dinner that night. That was pretty much my role on this vacation. And so it kind of hit me that my weight was no longer, I wasn't just the happy overweight guy. I was the guy who was making my world smaller. I was closing in. I was becoming more reclusive. I was not living anymore because of my weight and my insecurities with that. So I had to make a change. And it just so happened that I had a friend from high school who came and visited me, and she had lost 119 pounds in 9 months. I was like, what did you do? What surgery did you have? And she's like, nope, no surgery. And so she actually introduced me to an amazing optimal health program that I then used to lose 70 pounds in 6 months. Got off of all of my medications, do not sleep with the CPAP machine anymore. And because of that, I know it sounds cliche, but because of that physical transformation, everything in my life changed, including careers and lots of other things. So again, that one event changed the entire trajectory of my life. So that's kind of my message to everyone. It's not a ton of huge, big decisions that you need to make in order to, it's one small decision and one small step that will change the course of the rest of your life. And you're never too gone. You're never beyond hope. You've never gone too far the other direction where you can't turn around and go a different direction. So that's my story.
Right. So what do you say to people who are ever say, I'm just stuck. I'm just there's nothing I can do about it. What would you give them as an encouragement to say you're not stuck?
Well, obviously, you're not stuck. You just haven't made the decision to change yet. That's what it comes down to. Once you truly make the decision, because it all starts right there. Everything hinges on making that decision and truly making that decision, because with decision comes action. If you're not taking the actions to do it, you're choosing your current situation.
Mm,
So again, what you're not changing, you're choosing, right?
right.
So if you are not changing it, you're choosing it. So if, you're not happy with where your health is, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to disclaim, I'm not a medical doctor. And yes, there are conditions that are not changeable. There are genetic deficiencies that can't be changed. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about things that are within your control. Things like, for me, my high blood pressure, my high cholesterol, my gout, my sleep apnea. All of those were lifestyle induced. Yes, I had a family history of them. However, that is only, I believe it's like 25% of your genetics play into your current medical situation. In those cases, it's 75% environmental and what you're putting in your body. So um, when you truly make the change and you make that decision that, hey, I'm going to do something different, and you truly decide, the actions follow, and then the results come after that. But it all starts with that first decision. So that would be my encouragement to anyone. If you feel stuck in a situation, it's just because you haven't made the decision to change it yet. But
Right.
once you do, the universe will move mountains for that to happen for you.
Right. Right. So, what's one the I you talk about mindset, so it really comes down to your decision, like you said. So, how do you encourage people to like examine their mindset? Because like I said, it's the words up here that that we speak to ourselves that really keeps us in our bubble. So, how do we work on changing that mindset?
Well, it's baby steps. I mean, you can't wake up tomorrow morning and undo 40 years of programming, right? You have, I mean, from childhood, we're told no like a million times every day. So we have this voice and we have this recording in our head that's constantly telling us, no, you shouldn't do that. No, that's unsafe. No, you can't do that. No, that's not possible. You're not worthy. You're not whatever. And so you start with baby steps about what you're feeding your mind, what you're feeding the people that you surround yourself with. That has a humongous influence on making that mental shift. If you are not around people who are inspiring you and lifting you up, you are around the wrong people, and you need to cut that toxicity out of your life. And sometimes the only way to heal from a cancer is to cut it out. And I'm sorry, sometimes it's family. But sometimes you have to move on for your own health and your own healing. You need to move on, and that is hard. But in the long run, for your own benefit, it's gonna benefit you and your life and your family and your legacy for the rest of your life. So I would just say, start with grace. Give yourself grace. Give the people around you grace. Give your past some grace, and realize that your past is your education. It is your college. It is not your prison. Learn from the things of the past and then use that to make the future better. You are not determined by what happened back there. Move forward from it and learn from it and use it as a starting point to do something different and better. And I think just by making small changes like that and just the way you look at it, because again, it doesn't change the fact that, certain situations happened to you when you were a kid. But how are you going to use that? Because you now have power and tools that other people do not have, because other people did not go through those situations. So they don't have the tools and equipment that you do. How are you going to use those? Are you going to continue to tear yourself down? Or are you going to learn to build somebody else up? Because those tools have that power. You can tear something down or you can build something. And again, you get to make that choice.
So where did your journey, I mean, I know you told us about your transformation story, but I mean, to go into the mental aspect of it too, are you a reader, or like, what would you recommend as a beginning tool to get started?
Ooh, there's so many good books out there in terms of mindset. I would have to say a couple of books that I would highly recommend. Oh, wow. Uh, I was a teacher for 19 years. So, yes, education, reading, learning, those are all sort of, my thing. So, I would probably say a great book would be a book called Church Boy to Millionaire. That was written by a guy named Doug Wood. And it's just awesome in terms of breaking free of some mindsets and concepts that you may have accepted throughout your life because it's what you were taught. But sometimes what we were taught isn't right or doesn't serve us any longer, and we have to break free of that. So obviously, Church Boy to Millionaire, it is business related. However, there's a lot in terms of mindset, in terms of letting some things go. And so I would start there. Also, another one, I can't remember the author, but the book called Chase the Lion. It's impactful. It's huge. That is faith-based as well. And it's the whole concept that if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. And so it's all about King David and his men. And there's a story in the Bible where they don't run away from a lion. They actually chase him. And to go kill. I mean, most people would run away in that situation, but they ran toward it. And so it's this whole idea of run towards the things that scare you. Because if you are not stepping up and you're not, then you're living a very limited, small life. And we were not created to live a small life. That was not what we were intended for. So every one of us has greatness in it. We just have to let it out.
Right. I know in the beginning we were talking about how you run towards the things that scare you. So I know you shared that you were a previous teacher. So shifting your mindset to go from education to doing your entrepreneurship, that took you from running towards things that scare you, right? So how did that come about?
I won't make you use the little beeper to bleep me out, but yeah, that scared the stuff out of me. Because I am not, in our relationship between my wife and I am not the risk taker. I am not the guy who wants to go skydiving. She does. I am not the guy who makes these big power moves. She does. So for me to leave a stable, solid career that I really enjoyed and that I was at the top of, because I mean, within the world of education, I was an educational leader. I was sought after for leadership roles within the school, within our district, within the state. I don't want to say I was a big deal, but I was sought after for my expertise and my leadership there. So for me to walk away from that completely and start a whole new path was scary. But I also looked at what my possible impact was on this world. And yes, I mean, education is amazing, and teachers do not get paid enough, and they do not get the respect they deserve. And they are forming the minds of the next generation, and that is awesome. That is notable work. That is amazing. But when I looked at what my impact could be going down this route, helping people physically with their health, giving them a longer life, it's not necessarily about, having a smaller body, but it is about living a bigger life in a healthier body. So my ability to impact that way, which then is going to touch generations, because we can break that cycle of generational obesity and health. And all of a sudden, that issue of high cholesterol and high blood pressure that you've had for generations, all of a sudden it stops with you, because you're not passing on the habits, the skills, and the eating patterns that created that for the last several generations. So I was like, I really had to examine what my possible impact could be, and just said, I could be happy staying here, but why not take an adventure and see what else we can create? And I've loved every single second of it. I've been out of my classroom now for 3 years, and not looking back. So it's pretty awesome.
Well, and I would still say, Mr. Gary, you're still teaching. It's just in another form.
Absolutely. My classroom just got a lot bigger, that's all.
That's what I said. It just got bigger. So what's the one goal you have for yourself this year?
Oh my goodness. Personally, business-wise, what's my parameters?
They can all link together.
They can all link together. All right. So for me personally, physically. I started 2020 with the notion of I'm going to uptick my exercise and start to get into an area that we like to call ultra health, where we're not professional athlete level, but you could almost fake it. And then of course COVID hit and all the gyms shut down and things happened. So it's like that kind of put a halt. But now that I'm back to where I can actually start to get in the gym, that's picking back up. So if you have me back in December, we'll see how I look then. It gives me a few, 6 more months to finish that goal. In terms of business, I mean, I'm looking to impact a good solid 2,000-3,000 more lives before the end of the year. So, and that's what I don't look at my business in terms of dollars. The dollars come by helping lives. So in terms of my paycheck, I look at my paycheck in terms of these are lives changed and impacted. So I'm looking to impact 2,000 to 3,000 more people before the end of this year. So that's kind of a business goal for mine, which would, practically double my business. So that's just a personal pride thing.
Well, here's the one thing, and I think this is the key. What's the one thing you want to leave the audience with?
As we were discussing earlier on, the one thing, if nobody hears anything else and they only remember one thing I say, it is you are never too far gone to turn around and start in a different direction. Nothing is so dire or so bad in your life that you cannot make a 180 and go the opposite way. It won't be easy, but in the end, it will be totally worth it. So for many of us, it's time to put a period at the end of that sentence, turn the page, start a new chapter.
Right.
Plot twist. It's time for one.
I like that. I might have to name this episode Plot Twist.
Plot twist.
So
that's great for a math teacher, right?
I know, right? I like that. My question is also, for those who are looking for more information about you and your services and what you can do for them, where can they find you?
I'm pretty easily found in most social media platforms. So I'm on Facebook. In the bio section of this, you'll include all this information, right? All right. Okay. So you can find me on Facebook. The link will be below. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn, and I have a YouTube channel. So we'll make sure that you get all of those media outlets so that they can easily contact me.
Okay. What's your YouTube channel? I didn't.
If you search GKarstenHealth, that's GKarsten Health, all squished together, no spaces, you'll find my channel.
Okay. I also want to say again, thank you for your time. It's amazing how much insight can be squeezed into such small things, but I would love to have you come back because I think the conversation is just getting started.
That would be awesome. I'd be happy to.
And I want to thank everyone for checking in, that all feedback is always welcome. Guests and show ideas, you can always find us in the email. I will post all the links to Gary's websites and information, his social media sites, all in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. And remember, take things in stride, go with the flow, create your own path. And we will see you back here on another episode of Coffee with Tea. So see you then.
Bye.
Share with us, what was one of your takeaways from today's show? Post your answers in the comments.